On Friday, Mr. Minihane called my church and threatened them with public shaming if the minister...
Accurate. So I mean,
stated that his co-host was a fat piece of shit, adding that a show guest should, quote, lick his nuts, and that he was suspended from his show for calling a woman a bitch.
She loves social media.
I hate her. What a gutless bitch. Drop dead.
I think Fox only hired her because she's good looking. I think if she weighed 15 pounds more, she'd be a waitress at Perkins. I mean, that's what I believe.
All right, I'm looking at your FCC complaints right now.
Okay.
On August 25th, 2016, Kirk Minihane of The Morning Show used the word fucking at approximately 8:50 a.m. and continually uses the same word during his podcast with producer Chris Curtis.
well, that's podcasting is fine.
So, but think about this. They were so offended.
They listen to the podcast?
They were so offended by your swearing.
It never
Let
made,
me check
it
out
never,
this guy's
it never,
podcast.
It never made it to the air, though. No. If you listened online, you would get the uninterrupted. For a while, they stopped that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
It says
can't anymore,
this
but-
complaint actually came from Joe Zarbana.
Yeah, you would get the full thing uninterrupted on the feed for a while. That stopped as well.
Those were the days.
Because you'd get these texts and they'd be like, but that fuck went on the air. And everyone would be like, it did. And I was like, oh, if it did, so what? Just fuck.
September 12th, 2016. Hi, it's been 3 weeks now. What happened with Minihane's podcast in which he uses profanity continually? Larry.
That's probably Larry from Newburyport.
Yes.
The original Murchison.
A gentleman that was on your...
He follows up in October. Still waiting for a response. It's been 2 months.
Jesus.
That guy was on a list at the front desk of Entercom that says, if this man shows up, call the police.
Yes, he was one of the originals.
Yeah.
December 7th, 2017. While I listened to WEEI Boston this morning, radio show host Kirk Minihane stated that his co-host was a fat piece of shit, adding that he wanted to, quote, take a dump on a guest's head, adding that a show guest should, quote, lick his nuts, and that he was suspended from his show for calling a woman a bitch.
Oh, that's true. That last part's true.
This, along with irate screaming at callers on the WEEI call-in line and intense anger, must be violating FCC on-air rules. What he does in his personal life is one thing. Why is a person of this level of character and integrity allowed on the air at all?
It's reasonable.
He states that his show is #1 and he wants to win, but at what cost? I ask for his removal and permanent ban from broadcasting. This is not the first time he's violated FCC rules.
Is that Murchison?
I have no idea.
Oh, maybe.
I bet it is. October 2017 is right when he started his campaign.
There you go.
That's almost a guarantee.
I remember doing this on college radio when David Ortiz said, this is our fucking city.
Yes.
And people wrote about that.
Oh, but everyone was like, oh, but a lot of people were like, that's great. It's great that he did that. Like,
yeah.
Like, you know.
No, found the Murchison complaint.
Oh, let me hear it.
Because cities listed Sherburne. I have sent hurtful and demeaning raw content to advertisers on Mr. Minihane's show.
Is this really true? Hold on. Is this really true? I mean, so again, I just have to keep everyone in mind. This is my life. This is what we're talking about.
And this is, what's the date on this?
The date of the issue, it says April 27th, 2018.
Okay, so by that point, we're like 7 or 8 months in. It's been going on, goes on to this day. So you people in Discord who I give you this fucking show every day are arguing about stickers and who should be fucking on what level. Listen to what I have to deal with every single, as Kevin Clancy said today, he admires me. He said, you hear that part?
Yeah, yes.
He admires me, as you guys should and you don't. Admire what I go through.
We've always said we admire you.
You two losers could fucking scamper off and he wouldn't even give a shit about you two assholes. Let me hear this complaint. Christ. What's the logo gonna be? Greatest fights today on YouTube. Justin, is that
me complaining?
Is it Justin or fucking whatever? Who's the other shithead?
Will.
Justin and Will.
Justin or Will.
Justin's my
Tell them both to go fuck off. Who's the one who was sitting in front of me like a shithead the other day?
That was
Will.
Did he apologize yet?
No.
He made legitimate eye contact with me, which is a fucking intern no-no.
He's very worried about that.
He knows he's not supposed to.
That is intern no-no #1 is to make eye contact with
I'll
me.
have a talk with him. All right, Mr. Murchison writes.
Good. All right, let me hear this.
I have sent hurtful and demeaning raw content to advertisers on Mr. Minihane's show. The vast majority of them have pulled their ads because of the content. On Friday, Mr. Minihane called my church and threatened them with public shaming if the minister...
Accurate. So, I mean, first of all, I did what I did. I started doing that and was good. I'm glad you brought this up, Stephen. So at that point in the part of this thing, I was like, well, everyone in Intercom is sitting around like a bunch of, if I can use this word in this podcast, pussies. And like, don't upset him. He'll go away. Don't upset him. He'll go away. What can we do? Can we have a meeting?
Yeah.
Can we bring in people? Let's bring in this guy. Let's have a meeting about this. Let's make a deal with him. Let's offer him this. Let's offer him that. We'll do free. We were doing like weekend programming for transgender community. Fine. Meeting with transgender people. Fine. Doing commercials during the day about this, giving this man everything he wants. He's laughing. He's continuing to call these advertisers. He's just mocking these shitheads. Joe Sarbano, Mark Hammond, David Field, these cowards, day after day after day. So I said one day, I was like, fuck this. I'm going to start calling people in his life. And there's no threatening, nothing. I just said, hey, just so you know, you work with this guy. He's been terrorizing me. I'm going to let people know that your company or your church is in business with this person. It doesn't seem to be a place. I remember speaking to the person at the church who was a total asshole, by the way. And I said, just so you know, like, this does not seem to be a person who your church would want to be representative of. It's just not a person who loves, a person of warmth, kindness, compassion. Quite the opposite. And the guy was like, ooh, he was a total dick. Hopefully dead at this point. And brutally so, one can hope. Hopefully he got run over by a car 40 times, lived, and then fucking got, brain cancer.
Yes, we all hope.
What?
I agree.
Well, I mean, I have no patience for people who like sympathize with this guy. None. I don't care if you're a fucking priest or whatever. It doesn't make any difference than anybody else. So I called people after people. And then Murchison called Mark Hannon and those people. And they were like, stop. You got to stop this right now. Stop doing it. That's what they it is fucking unbelievable.
Jesus. I love this line from his complaint. I don't believe a radio station should be used as a weapon to silence critics. Okay. Big free speech guy.
Yeah, that's Bob all the way.
Yeah.
What a fucking asshole.
I'm a total asshole. Oh, God. That just aggravates me. But yeah, let's worry about what fucking some guy does with his goddamn stickers and fucking...
That's one that comes up a lot, and I've heard it recently, that I remember when I defended Christian Fourier on Twitter a couple of years ago.
The Don Yee thing?
When he did the Don Yee thing. Yeah. Someone said that I shouldn't be subjected to
public airwaves,
flipping around my dial and accidentally coming upon that.
Can you imagine being so scared that you're going to flip a radio dial and hear a guy doing a ridiculous Asian accent for 4 seconds?
My word.
Would you be paralyzed? Keep fucking moving the dial.
April 2018.
If you move far enough right, Mike, you know what happens.
You'll be in the glove box.
I mean, that's what's going to happen.
That's what I tell these people.
They don't listen.
I know.
All right, here's another complaint from Clinton. Between approximately 8:09 a.m. and 8:25 a.m. this morning, Channel 93.5 radio personalities used the word douche 3 times.
Ooh.
And they got the station wrong, too.
Good. Yeah, those poor 93.5 people. It's probably like some easy listening channel. Seekonk.
3 times they said, grab him by the balls, drag him around, and it's a circle jerk. That's what it is, a circle jerk. Inappropriate for anyone listening, especially young people. Can you hear it now? Hey, Mom, what's a circle jerk?
Well, I would say
saucy conversation.
These are people who don't have children, because if you have a teenager at this point in your life, if you don't think they know what a fucking circle jerk is,
right.
I mean...
So this is a briefer complaint from 2016. One host called another host a pedophile, saying he watches boys in the shower.
Van Tanguay asked him, he said, would you be the coach of the team? And Gary said, is that cute point guard still there? Van said, no, he's in high school now.
Whatever.
And Gary said, no, I'm done. And we're done. He said...
I have horsed around with
Could you wear the shorts like they did in the 80s?
Cut it out.
Little
I mean,
tight
really,
shorts?
this is ridiculous.
Coach Tanguay has a puberty check.
I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, you're joking about pedophilia. This is not funny.
I have
That's all
showered
you guys
after
have?
workouts.
When you told me that Macaulay Culkin hit the wall in Home Alone 2, what did that mean when you said that? Did you mean like physically? You said he hit
What
the
are you
wall,
talking
right?
about?
You were no longer attracted to him.
Oh,
right?
shut up, Kirk. I mean,
Facial hair, he
really,
hates
I'm
that.
serious.
Let's talk
this is
to Andrew.
not funny.
Andrew
You're
in
right.
Danvers.
You're
This is
legitimately
just-
upset? There's the door. Do what you did last time. Leave.
Right.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Good. Get out of here.
He just broke his headphones.
Go.
That was maybe the best episode of the show. Maybe the best episode of Kirk.
I'm actually looking at the guy right now.
That's the kind of kindergarten we run over here.
That was an amazing. Yes, that's true. It
was a great day.
I mean, actually listening to that and thinking it's serious.
Well, ask Gary Tanguay about that.
That's true.
So we're going back in time. July 8th, 2015. This is when it was the Dennis and Callahan show, and you're already making waves. I was listening to EEI out of Boston. They were talking about Russell Wilson. Kirk Minihane stated that Russell Wilson likes to have his nuts licked. I have written many times about this gentleman to you and his bosses. The vulgar language occurred in the 9 a.m. hour of the Dennis and Callahan show. I find Mr. Minihane, spells your name wrong, to be very, very offensive in all caps. I hope you take some action against him.
Steve loves this, buddy.
I do love
It is funny though. This is actually pretty entertaining.
So this is December 2017. On December 11th, at some time around 7:30
I love that
a.m.
Steve's like, you didn't get a lot of complaints. Complaint after complaint.
Here's 40,000.
On December 11th, at some time around 7:30 a.m. on the Kirk and Callahan show, the hosts were talking about a young boy who had been bullied at school and had video put out by his mother that went viral. Jerry Callahan literally said on air that the young boy should get a gun and take a list of names of his bullies and go to school and take them out.
He's right.
Oh, that was that film one that was bullshit, right? Remember that one where they filmed the mom was talking to the kid and it was a crime, but it turned out it was a GoFundMe scam?
Yes.
Yeah. And that was the thing I said right away, and they were all, I was like, this is clearly a scam.
That was wrong of you to say.
I'm sorry to say that.
Whether or not you were correct.
Here's what he should do, okay? This is reasonable, I think. Should get a gun and start shooting. By the way, I can't believe Jerry said that. I can and I can't, but you know, you got to remember, there's also like guys like Merchant, those people, they would just make up lies to the FCC. Why not?
Well, yeah, well,
I mean, a lot of it.
What's the harm?
I'm sure a lot. I mean, you know, if I said to you that you said something 6 weeks ago in the 8 o'clock, well, you wouldn't remember it.
Oh,
I
shit,
remember
really?
none of this stuff.
No.
I mean, I remember the Tanguay thing, but the nuts licking thing, I'm sure I said it. But,
Yeah, right.
And they could fine you a company $1 million. They could sit around and be like, all right, what do we have here? Case 2612. Somebody in Boston named Kirk Minihane said somebody licked somebody's nuts. What do you guys? Does it meet the 3-prong test? Let's talk about it. And they would talk about this.
Gather round, gang.
And the thing is, it doesn't come up like a week after they get the complaint.
forever
They don't
after.
investigate
Right.
it. Yeah, and some stations don't even have archives, so you're just going to be investigating what one anonymous person says they heard.
I mean, and right in the bottom there, you know, file a complaint with the FCC. I mean, they want you to do it. It's fucking crazy. And that is the one thing that would that would scare these pussies the most. Like, the FCC, they could take away our license, and they could do. I'm like, well, they're not going to.
That would be huge.
And when do they do that? When do they really do that ever?
Yeah.
It almost never happens. You know.
Well, the thing was, it became Stern made it like a bigger fine, right? Wasn't it like in Stern's day, it was like a slap on the wrist, kind of.
Oh, pre-Stern.
And then after, yeah.
And
then after, I forget if it was Janet Jackson or maybe the Sex for Sam thing. But something made it where it's like $100,000 fine.
But weirdly, the FCC kind of helped Stern because
made it more
dangerous.
dangerous.
Yeah, because he was like fighting. He was fighting Uncle Sam.
Well, there's
for the
an
right
element
to
of
be
that,
funny.
even with like Murchison, where it's someone to fight against and rail against. It's content that's always there, you know.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
So you're saying that like Kirk is secretly working with
not that it's a
Murchison?
good, not that it's a good thing.
Let's not dig into that. I mean, but there's a relationship. He's a good friend. I'm not going to say he's a bad guy. I hope nobody gets that confused. Yeah, he got a $600,000 fine at one point by the FCC. $600,000. So in 1992, $600,000 fine. Stern denigrated the pancake icon.
Aunt Jemima.
Aunt Jemima?
Which Jemima is it?
Is it Aunt Jemima?
Is it Aunt or Aunt?
I would have said Aunt.
Everyone says Aunt Jemima, but you say fucking Aunt Jemima. I fucking give up. I have never fucking ever fucking heard anyone say Aunt Jemima. Ever. I say Aunt for everything. That's Aunt Jemima. And Steve totally... Did you hear that?
Yes.
He says Aunt Jemima.
It's not Aunt Jemima.
Why is it Aunt Jemima?
It's just the way I said it.
But why is she an aunt?
You guys want there to be some kind of hard.
But nobody in the history of the world has ever said Aunt Jemima.
We don't want there to be a rule. You made the rule.
Yeah, it's a Robinson rule.
No, there are aunts, there are aunts. There's no clear, bright line that
But
explains
everyone
that.
else says Aunt for her. That's
It's just something you intuit.
What?
It's just something you intuit. It's just a reaction.
Intuition. Oh, Jesus God. You just double douche yourself.